Well, here we go, guys. The first build video for Where Winds Meet that you're going to see from me. I am showing today a Blade and Umbrella build. This guy is fucking amazing. I don't know how to put it any other way. The build is a brick shithouse. It is so powerful. It is so durable. It has crazy high damage. And honestly, against most of the content in this game, you can just face roll it with a build like this. It is so strong. I was able to beat a majority of the bosses my first try on expert mode with this build, and I jumped into PvP for the first time today, and oh my god, this guy was so good. It's just like an absolute monster. You can do so much damage to people, and they have so much trouble putting any kind of good damage into you. This is pretty much the best brawler build that I could come up with in the game. I don't know what I would change to make this any better. It's got everything going for it. So yeah, without further ado, we've got a bunch of gameplay footage. So we're going to be talking about the build in that PvP commentary there. And the last half of the video is going to be a detailed breakdown of the build where I go over all the different parts of it. So without further ado, let's get started with the commentary here. The first thing I want to talk about with this build is all of the charged attacks. The charged attacks are important not only for the big damage that they do, but they give you fortitude when you charge them. Stagger is a huge mechanic for PvP and PvE in this game that prevents you from doing your combos basically whenever you get interrupted by an opponent's attack. So, especially in things like PvP, being able to have fortitude on demand like that means that, like you can see here, while they're throwing out all those attacks that normally would stagger you, we can charge up a very powerful heavy attack and then hit them in the face with it for crazy high damage. Now, of course, you don't need to fully charge the heavy attack every single time. I just like to hold and charge the heavy attack coming in, because we have the fortitude going into the combo. So if we have that fortitude going in and we can hit the opponent with that attack, they're going to get staggered by our attack, as you can see here, and we're not going to get staggered by their incoming move. And just like that, we open up with a combo on this guy. We completely drop his key, and the poor guy is at half health just as the fight starts. That is the kind of damage this build can do. One mistake you can punish so hard. And he's also running the Blade, but he is not using the charged attacks properly like he should be, and it's allowing us to land a lot of staggers on him in this fight. Now, the next really important facet of this build is the damage shields, plural. The main damage shield that the build uses is the Blade's D skill on my bar here, and that one is going to be a 25% health damage shield, which is really good. I mean, that's a huge amount of health. That's like 10k health of a damage shield. And that is just going to keep you protected basically while you fight. The idea of the damage shield and using a slow heavy weapon like this is to keep the shield up and then go for those trades with that fortitude up, and you can just absolutely spank people in the exchanges. There you see on this guy, I throw down a few just partial charged light attacks on him just to get those kind of quick staggers in, and he's trying to turn around and get his own attacks in, so I just kind of caught him there with that chain. And yeah, I gotta say, man, the damage that this has is very scary. People are afraid to approach it. They know, if they fought it before, how much damage a move like this can do. And if you look at the tooltip on the Blade's charged light and heavy attacks, they are crazy high tooltips. They're like 500% weapon damage tooltips. It's craziness. So, of course, what you want to do on a build like this is keep that shield up as often as possible. There you see, as he's spamming the attacks, we're able to get into our charged heavy attack just to kind of break his momentum there. But he ends up getting crazy amounts of damage on us with his spins there. But I do manage to get enough damage in with this spin in order to get the key break on him, and then I wait with the F key. That was a big mistake on my part. We could have interrupted his combo if I had just gone for the F key right away, but I was trying to get another spin in before I comboed into that F, but that's okay. And here again, we catch him with the spin coming in. This time, I'm letting loose the spin just a little bit earlier as he comes in, just to catch him. And there he goes for his move. It does a lot of key damage to me, so he ends up getting a really big combo there and knocking me over. But I get far enough away. I pop the shield. The shield actually gives you fortitude while you cast it, so you can use the shield to kind of break out of those bad combos too. And then there is a beautiful hit with the charged heavy. So much key damage. We hit him with the F, and down he goes. Now, of course, the back bar for this build is the Umbrella, and there you see my pre-buffs as we go into the fight. I cast the D skill on the Umbrella, which is going to give us a little bit of a damage bonus, and then I cast the Tab skill. The Tab skill is just a heal over time, and that's going to stay up for about a minute, and then once it's done, you can just recast it right away again. So you essentially can have 100% uptime on that. So this is important for two reasons. Number one, the healing. Healing is always amazing. Even in PvP where the healing is like 90% less than what it would normally be, it makes a difference, especially on a build like this where we have a damage shield that can kind of protect our health bar, and that heal away can really do work once we start to take damage to our health. Trust me, there is nothing more powerful for a heal than being able to heal while you're actively doing other things, and that's what makes this umbrella so powerful. But for the most part, the umbrella is just that. It's the utility on our back bar to give us a little bit more healing power, and it just synergizes really well with the Moblade shield. And in this fight here, you can see that the defense that this build has is so powerful. This guy's having real trouble just doing any kind of damage to me. As soon as he gets on top, we just pop that shield, and yeah, we're just spinning those moves coming in. This guy is letting us hit him with the combos too. Normally, it's not so easy to hit with these combos, and we need to set stuff up with the tab skill on the Moblade. There, you can see I pop the shield again, and then I go for the spin, and I should pull out the tab here if this doesn't land. Do land one, never mind, he's down. And that is the end of that fight. But that tab skill is very useful because it has a lot of reach, and the Moblade is slow. So once you get on top of opponents, especially if you're using the Cloud Step Gap Closer or the Yaksha Rush or whatever, once you get on top of them, that tab skill can be used to actually keep them next to you and just pull them into various different combos and stuff like that. There, I get a good spin on this guy here. He starts to hit with his own moves. I quickly pop my damage shield, and I try to go for the tab there, I think, and he ends up hitting me with the stagger. Unfortunately, I don't have fortitude going into that. And then he hits me with the sword combo there, and I take a lot of damage. My key is... oh, man, he gets me just as I'm about to get my key back, so I do eat the knockdown combo from him. Then I just keep kiting around here, and I'm just waiting, I think, a couple seconds for my shield to come up. We do have the spin ready. I cancel out of it with the deflect, or the counter move. You can use that to cancel your abilities, and then I quickly pop the shield, and then we jump on top of him, and I try to go for the Yaksha Rush, but he hits me with the swords. We get hit by that counter stagger. See, you guys can understand why I love that fortitude so much, especially in PvP. He tries to counter that move. Honestly, the move is slow, but it has weird timing, so people miss the counter all the time. That's probably the best counter to it, is to use the deflection, but yeah, you guys can see in the gameplay, like, people can mistime it, and it can be very punishing if they mistime it. So it's up to you. You can also fake and let the charge go a little earlier, or just cancel it with your own deflection and then use a different skill. And there we do manage to land the heavy. We hit him with the knockdown into the F skill. So much damage there, and then I pop my damage shield again, and he is running a little bit lower on health. Now, one thing, especially watching my gameplay here, I like that I come in with fortitude, but I need to use that tab skill more, especially in this situation where we have an opponent that's very low health. There it is, finally, I land the tab skill, it knocks him over, we pull him in out of his jump in the air there, and there is the finishing blow to take him down. And I think we've got one last clip for you guys here today, going to take a look at the build. So in this last fight here, the enemy player comes in. He comes in with the blades. This stun or stagger combo is super nasty. I pop my Saren Breeze skill to knock him back, and then I right away go into my charged heavy, so we have that fortitude. I do not want him to continue to combo me with that sword, and there is huge damage off of the spin there. He does deflect some of it, but we still manage to get good damage, and importantly, we get that key damage, so we got the knockdown coming very soon here. There's the tab skill to pull him in. Big damage on that spin, and then we've got the shield just in time. No, he knocks me out of casting the shield, so now I'm lost without my shield for just a few moments, so I just remain aggressive. He's very close to taking that key damage, though, and I try to get that heavy charged. Unfortunately, he just starts hitting me with the moves, and then the F pops up here, and I hit him with the counter F, and I managed to just kind of break out of that, go for my shield, and then here we charge the heavy again, and he has got no key left. We get huge damage on that combo. Oh my god, we got a huge crit on that. On top of it, we get the knockdown, and there is the damage on the Moblade. It is so punishing, man. You cannot eat a combo from this weapon, because it just completely changes the course of the fight. Then I pop my shield up again. We're going to throw the umbrella down for some more healing, and he throws his fan down for a little bit of healing, but man, that is... the healing in PvP is nerfed, so, you know, It's, you got to have something else. You can't use the fan healing alone. We just keep trying to tank out his damage here. He just catches me with so many staggers. That's the one thing I do not love about this game, and why I am so attracted to the fortitude from this weapon here, because I hate how much stagger there is. And this guy is just going to do his best to spam block here, or spam the deflection. And here's what I'm talking about, where people will mistime that deflection. You can't just spam it. You have to actually time it. And down he goes. Okay, let's take a look at that build. I'm going to try to explain it as best I can, as concisely as I can for you guys. This is my first time doing a build video for this game. So both of your weapons you want to level up to as high level as possible. There's nothing you really have to do here to pick or anything. You just want to make sure that they're the same level as your character. We've got both the Soul Shade Umbrella and the Thundercry Blade for this build. Now, for the passives, or the inner way things that we slot here, I've got Adaptive Steel. This will only impact the Mo Blade, and that's going to give us 20% increased critical damage and 20% increased parry counter skill damage, which is really nice. That's a great damage bonus, and that stacks with the rest of the crit damage that this build is stacking. The next passive that I have here is Battle Anthem. This is going to increase charge skills damage against all enemies, including players with less than 60% endurance, by 10%. This is really good. Again, this build is hitting really hard with the charge skills, so that's just playing more into that. And then the next one I have here is Moral Chant, and then this guy here is going to give an 80% chance to give 1 stack of Yi River, and when attacking or healing, this increases physical damage and healing by 1% for 8 seconds, stacking up to 5 times, and this is calculated only once every 2 seconds. Now, this build is running the Soul Shade Umbrella, and the Soul Shade Umbrella has a passive heal over time that you can basically keep up all the time, and you guys can see that just floating over my head here. That is going to keep my Yi River stacks, as you can also see on my character, at 5, basically at all times. So yeah, really nice for this build. We basically have this buff up all the time. It's going to increase our damage and healing. This build benefits immensely from both, so that's awesome. And then in the inner way breakthrough here, we get a little bit more physical penetration for each stack of Yi River that we get, which is nice as well. And then for the final passive I have here is the Art of Resistance. Increase the duration of your own HP shields and the bonus effects of its skill sources by 4 seconds. This build is running 2 different damage shields. One of them we are spamming the crap out of. I really like this passive for a damage shield kind of setup. Now, it just gives you increased duration for now. Once you get that first perk, you'll get 10% increased size on that damage shield, and then we get more and more passive perks, including critical damage bonus and critical chance bonus, which is really nice for this particular build as well. So this is going to be a really good passive to build into, especially long-term for this build. Now, let's take a look at the Mystic skills that I'm running. For the Mystic skills, guys, I only really use 4 of them. You probably should have all 8 as options and different buffs that you use. I'll talk about it a little bit, but I'll go over the 4 that I'm actually using. The first one here is Yaksha Rush. This one's nice because it's a good combo setter. If you knock someone in the air with it, you now are opened up to just absolutely unloading on them with your various different combos that you have. Usually it's the big spin on the Mo Blade into the partial charged light attack. So yeah, I like this a lot. It does a lot of damage. The nice thing about it too is that it only costs 15 vitality, has a very short cooldown, so you can essentially spam it on cooldown, which is really nice. So if you miss your first lunge or you miss the kick, you can always just use it again if you have the vitality for it. And the fact that it cancels your move when you use it makes it a really clean transition attack move if you want to try just putting a little bit more damage on the end of a combo. Now, the next ability I have here is Golden Body. This is my oh shit shield that I can stack with my other shield. Once we upgrade this shield through the various different breakthroughs that it gets, it will also give its shield to allied players as well, which is nice for group stuff. But for solo play, I liked having Golden Body just in case I really needed that additional shield. Now, this also gives you a whole bunch of additional fun stuff as you level it up. So yeah, the more you get out of this, the better. But in the end, I do really just like that we have access to an on-demand shield like this that we can stack on top of the other one. And now for the next ability we have is Cloud Step. This is the primary gap closer of the build. It has got a very short cooldown. I think it is something like 6 or 7 seconds, so you can use it really often. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but the fact that it quickly closes that gap is super important because the Mo Blade is very slow. It does not close gaps quickly. If you close the gap with the Cloud Step and then you very quickly switch to your Mo Blade and then you pull out the Sunrush Gale ability, you can pull people in before they have the chance to roll away. So you've got lots of CC and lots of control following that gap closer. So yeah, I do really like that. And then finally, the last perk here or ability that I have is Saren Breeze. And this is to just break me out of any CC or stun. It'll counter stun the opponent, which allows you to turn around and open up with a combo of your own. Very useful for PvP. Very, very useful. Now for my second bar of Mystic skills here, I've got a few different things. I like Ghostly Steps, but I don't use it that often. I don't think in the footage I used it at all. Celestial Seas can be nice, but in PvP, I'm not really sure how effective that is. Or Meridian Touch, sorry, not Celestial Seas for that immobilize. I'd have to try it out. I really haven't tried out a lot of the abilities here, but yeah, the only one that I'd really recommend is Ghostly Steps to give you a little bit more of that dodgy gameplay. It's really fun to use. It just doesn't last forever. And then let's take a look at the gear that I'm running on this build. And this is really where a lot of the customization of this build is going to come from. So we're going to start off with the offensive weapon set. So our weapons and our jewelry here. So for the umbrella and the Mo Blade, I don't have perfect perks on them, but I did the best that I could. What's important here is that we have 4 out of 4 of that Rain Whisper set. 10% increased critical damage and healing, a further 15% increased critical damage and healing when you have an HP shield. Mix that with the other 20% critical damage that we get. Oh my god, man. We are pushing so much additional crit damage on this build. It is absolutely beautiful. So when that Mo Blade crits, it is going to do devastating damage to targets. And the Mo Blade already hits crazy hard. Like, you can kill a player in 2 combos with it. Forget about having those huge crits in there. And then, yeah, for the perks on the various different pieces of gear here, we want to go for Stone Split Attack, we want to go for hit points, we want to go for power, and we want to go for agility. We want to go for critical rate. Precision is not bad as well. You could go for affinity rate as well, but honestly, I think crit rate is the way to go because this is a very crit rate focused build. Ideally, if we had around 30% crit rate at this stage, that would be awesome. I know for an end game build, that's not where we want to be, but once we get to end game, we're probably going to be looking at a lot more like 40-50% crit rate on a build like this anyway. So yeah, that is basically what you want to aim for these various little perks here. Obviously not like Bell Strike Attack and stuff like that, but you do have a bit of flexibility with it, which is good. You just want to kind of read what the various different stats do. If you guys don't know, you can go into details here, and then you can click like power, converts a character's physical attack based on a certain ratio. So you learn what that does, and then you learn if you get agility on your gear, you're going to be getting crit rate and minimum physical attack. And you also learn that the crit will also scale from the minimum physical attack. So there's all kinds of little stuff to read in that details tab if you guys want to get into the dirt of what's going on in your build numbers wise. Otherwise, that is pretty much it for this first set here. There's not a lot more to talk about. Let's talk about the second set. Again, we're going for those same perks on the gear here. Critical rate, stone split, power, agility, that kind of stuff. Max attack, min attack, those are all great too. I think min attack, because we're going for a crit build, is probably better than max attack. At the end of the day, you're going to want to min max, but we're not at end game yet. So seriously, guys, if you can just get a piece that has 3 out of 4 good pieces on it or perks on it, that's more than enough for this stage of the game. Now, the set that I have on the back end here is the Form Bend set. 2 more seconds of duration for my damage shields, which is nice. And then if we have more than 85% key or a key immunity shield, we will reduce all HP damage taken by 20%. Now, this is just going to be a little bit of a damage cut at times, not super often, which is great. We don't really have a key damage shield. Maybe we could get one through the Mystic skills. I don't know. Honestly, I would rather run the Eagle Rise set here instead because it just gives raw damage reduction, which I think would go a little bit further than the set that I have here. I just have the Nocturne set because I wanted to try it. It's either this or the Eagle Rise set, guys. So there you go. Anyway, those are the sets that I'm running. For the bow and the ring, I just have whatever bow and ring I could get. They're not crazy important for this build because we don't really use them that often on this build. But if you guys want to, you definitely can. And then let's take a look at the enhancement side of things. Obviously, you want to enhance everything to the max level that you can get it. Right now, it's 20. It'll be going up with this next patch in a couple days. And then for the arsenal, you want to have all of your gear in here that you can from your previous tiers, of course. And then for talents, you want to fill them all out, basically. I focused on trying to fill out the offensive ones before the defensive ones, but at the end of the day, once you've done enough leveling up, you'll have all of these filled out anyway. So there's not really any like build craft here past put the stuff in where you can. And here's a quick look at my stats if you guys want to see the stat page of this build and what we're kind of looking at for it. Otherwise, that is the build, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. I really like playing this build. It felt really fucking strong, and it has made the game kind of easy, I think. So this might be one of the stronger builds out there for PvP. I'm not really sure yet because I still have to do a lot more PvP, but yeah, I think it felt good for what I did. I felt like I was smacking people real hard with it. Anyway, have a great day, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Look forward to more in the future from me, and I will see y'all next time.